Good morning. It's Easter Sunday morning. It might be afternoon when you're watching this, but in any case, greetings because it's Easter Day. Hallelujah. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Hallelujah. This is the central, most important part of the Christian faith, the fact that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. Forgive me if I get a bit excited about this. Well, it is an exciting day for us Christian folk because of this importance, this great miracle of a day. Let me read you something from Matthew's Gospel this morning. But first of all, let me paint the picture. We know what's been happening. We've been following the story. Jesus has been teaching and preaching. He's been called out by the authorities and made an example of because they didn't like his preaching and teaching. They wanted to get rid of him. So they took him to the cross and crucified him. His followers, his disciples, everyone around him was distraught about what had happened. Early on the first day of the week, which was a Sunday, some of the followers went to the grave, the tomb where Jesus was buried. They were sad, they were disjointed, they were upset, they were worried. They didn't know what to make of it all. And then they find that the tomb is empty. How can this be? The tomb is empty. The women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy. They ran to tell his disciples, and suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then he said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers, go to Galilee. There they will see me." It's an amazing, incredible, a fantastic story. Someone has come back from the dead. Now, either this is a fanciful idea that's taken hold in the hearts and minds of a few people, and it's not really true, in which case we should just read it as a nice story and not really pay too much attention to it. Or it is true that Jesus returned from the dead. It's an incredible story, but can we believe it? What truth is there? Well, the truth is here in these very words that I'm reading here. This compilation of this library of 66 books, the Bible, all point towards this one fact that Jesus is risen from the dead, and we must celebrate it. I wish I had all morning to tell you about it and teach you about it. I haven't got all morning. I have got all year. And so have other preachers and vicars and ministers. If you go along to a local church and ask to hear the story about Jesus, don't worry, they'll tell you about it. It's what they love doing. But it's either rubbish or it's true. You have to make up your own mind about that. It's either something to be nicely tucked away in a corner with a bit of Shakespeare, or it's the truth about God himself, that Jesus, who died on the cross, is risen from the dead. We, us Christian folk, believe it to be true. And it's made all the difference in the world to our lives. It gives us purpose and hope and joy and love and peace. Could you do with any of that? Joy and hope and love and peace? Well, it's all here in the pages of this book that we've been looking at, the Bible. I can't recommend enough to you to go and find out more about Jesus, who is risen from the dead. Today is the day that we celebrate all that he's done. There'll be celebrations, whether people are gathered together or not, up and down the country, privately in homes. Already there are dozens of emails that I'm receiving for people at church saying, "Hallelujah, he is risen." At 10:30 this morning, that might be after, before you read and hear this, at 10:30 this morning, churches all around the country will be having their online services, as will we, proclaiming Jesus is risen from the dead, explaining it more, celebrating it, talking about it once again. For 2,000 years we've been doing this, and we will continue to do this until he returns again to be with us. It's a wonderful, life-affirming, celebratory, uplifting, hope-enhancing event in the history of the world. And it can be yours today, free of charge, if you just tune your heart and mind into it. Jesus Christ is risen today. Hallelujah.